Dozens of people are gathering right here, as you can see behind me here in Vogel Plaza in downtown Medford. How this all started is still unclear, but as of right now, the suspect is still on the loose. And the drive will happen here in East Medford starting tomorrow. And since we've been here, we've already started to see a line of cars. From the food to the music and the rides behind me, hundreds of people are more than excited to be back at the Jackson County Fair after more than a year. Now, at this time, we do not know what led up to this violent incident or if there's a relationship between the victim and the suspect. Now, this comes as the Delta variant has health officials on edge. Just on Tuesday, the state reported the most cases it's seen since January. Grants Pass police said it first received a call about the carjacking in this area on Southwest Annabelle Lane off of Redwood Ave. But by the time police got here, the suspect was already gone. And the Three Rivers School District said it's aware of the incident that took place at the high school on Thursday. Now, this video is short, violent, and disturbing. And we want to warn our viewers that this video may be disturbing to watch. And the video appears to show 3 female students attacking another female student. It looks like the girl on the ground is being punched, kicked, and stomped on. We blurred this cell phone video in part to protect these students who are likely minors. We're told by both current and former students that the attack took place in the girls' locker room at Hidden Valley High School. Another student said they were aware of the video and that it's making rounds on social media. Now, it's important to point out that we do not know what, if anything, precipitated this attack, as this short video clip is the only evidence of the attack that we were provided. We reached out to school officials about this alarming video, and they have yet to respond. However, the Three Rivers School District's communications coordinator sent us a statement. It said, quote, "Staff at Hidden Valley were immediately aware of an incident on Thursday, and all appropriate steps are being taken," end quote. We do not know the condition of the person who was attacked or the extent of the injuries they suffered. Again, this is a developing story, so stick with NBC5 as we continue to dive more into this story. Live in the newsroom, Anthony Carter, NBC5 News.
Continuing our team coverage, several different fire agencies have been battling the McKinney fire since it's ignited before the weekend. Their next big challenge, the threat of storms that are going on around the region. NBC5's Anthony Carter spoke to fire officials on the grounds. He joins us in studio with the latest. Anthony?
Craig, the weather has been favorable for firefighters over the last few days. However, crews are anticipating fire behavior to pick up as the weather changes in what could be a long, hard-fought battle. Dozens of firefighters from across multiple western states teaming up in the fight against the deadly McKinney fire. It first broke out Friday afternoon in the Klamath National Forest. Firefighters say it was not lightning caused, but in its first 48 hours, officials say the fire exploded in size, burning more than 50,000 acres.
It was serious fire behavior, very extreme, very dangerous.
While the fire's size has been holding steady, Public Information Officer Mike Linberry says they're not out of the woods just yet.
As soon as these skies clear up, and as soon as this fire starts getting heat on it, it's going to get up and move again.
The favorable rain and relative humidity early this week allowed crews to take advantage and construct a line around it. But the concern moving forward is the threat of storms.
The potential as these storm clouds collapse, we can have outflow winds up to 50 or 60 miles an hour.
The McKinney fire is located about 4 miles west of Wairika. Linberry says protecting the city is their #1 priority.
We're building up in case this thing starts moving again. These lines aren't completed yet, but they're in process.
With the threat still looming and evacuation orders in place, Linberry reminding the community to stay alert at all times.
The more informed you are, the more prepared you are when fires are burning in your area, the better you can make decisions. Always have a go bag, always be ready, and know your route of escape.
In addition to that, Linberry says for residents, if they haven't already, to sign up for Code Red alerts through Siskiyou County's website. That's California's emergency alert system. He says to double check which zone you are in as well, in the event you need to leave. Live in studio, Anthony Carter, NBC5 News. New details unfolding into a shooting at the Rogue Valley Mall late Saturday night that left 1 person injured and a community in shock. Good evening. Thank you for joining us for NBC5 News at 6. I'm Anthony Carter. We're following several different angles tonight on Saturday's shooting, from the actual incident, what possibly led up to it, and witnesses describing the chaotic scene. Get into our fire danger red. The National Weather Service issuing a combination of red flag warnings and heat advisories through Saturday for western Oregon. Fire officials say the conditions are impacting the Rum Creek fire. The fire sits just at more than 21,000 acres and 46% contained. Rural Metro Fire says it's looking into the cause of yet another abandoned RV fire. It posted this video of the fire in Merlin this morning. It happened just before 5 a.m. on Galease Road near Crow Road. Firefighters were able to quickly knock down the flames and prevent it from spreading to nearby grass. NBC5 News told you last week that the Medford Water Commission and other similar organizations are adjusting the amount of water released to each person. Now we're learning that the changes are part of the state's efforts to curtail illegal grows. The bipartisan House Bill 4061 passed in this year's legislative session. It regulates public taps where people can fill tanks with water. Rogue Valley had its first U.S.-sanctioned pickleball tournament this weekend. People from all over Oregon and Northern California gathered at Lithia Park to compete. Organizer John Gill says he is trying to get the sport into the 2028 Olympics. This tournament is one of many Gill has hosted here in the U.S. And with that, we're going to send things over, get a first check of the forecast with NBC5 Chief Meteorologist Matt Jordan, who's here in studio. Matt, we're talking about fire season. We got some rain today. And
some rain today, some rain or plenty of rain tomorrow.
Welcome back. This Great Dane may only be 2, but he's already breaking world records. Zeus is now the world's tallest living dog, according to the Guinness World Records. The Bedford, Texas Pooch is 3 feet and a little over 5 inches tall. 51% of people have borrowed this from a roommate without telling them. That's it. Yeah, we're about to confess to all our roommates.
I know. How much do we want to tell them?
They'll be hearing from me.
Right.
And my lawyer, maybe. I have all your latest news and weather. I'm Anthony Carter. Have a great evening and stay safe. Good evening, everyone, and happy Sunday. I'm Anthony Carter. Hope you all had a great weekend as we get ready for another work week. Now, take a look at this weather photo. I showed you this a little bit earlier, but just in case you didn't see, this is a photo of the dense fog out along the coast. Thanks you to Ricky Smith for sending that in. And that's really been the headline for the coast really just throughout much of this weekend. So with that fog, we also tracking low visibility on the coast. We've seen visibility down to 0 miles for Brookings. So that's very dense fog. So certainly you do want to take your time out on the roads. We'll get into that in just a bit. Otherwise, for the rest of us, we are still keeping a close eye out on widespread haze going into Monday. And this is from the Cedar Creek fire in Lane County, just a little bit to our north. We're starting to track northerly winds that's really pushing that smoke into our region. Now, warmer than average temperatures continue for much of the next week, but some slightly good news is that early models are showing a chance of showers later this month. Now, it is still early, so it's kind of hard to really predict that right now, but current indications that we might just have some rain, so we certainly need it. Now, let's take a look at our almanac. As we mentioned, those above average temperatures, certainly the almanac still reflects that. Today's high, 90, well warmer compared to the average of 74, about 7 degrees shy of tying the record set back in 1936. Same situation over in the basin. Today's high, well warmer compared to the average of 68, also about 7 degrees shy of tying the record at 87. Now, I didn't get a chance to get to this a little bit earlier, so let's look at temperatures outdoor right now. We're in 50s in our west side valleys, 57 over in the basin. In our west side valleys, we're at 68 in Grants Pass, 76 here in Medford, Northern California. We're in the 60s, 72 over in Montague. And for the coast, a lot more cooler temperatures because of that high ridge system. We're in the low to mid 50s for the coast. Now, we are still keeping a close eye on poor air quality as a result of the Cedar Creek fire. So as we're looking at this fire, it's continuing to push much more into our region due to northerly winds. So right now we're looking at unhealthy for sensitive groups in the Roseburg area, moderate throughout much of us Jackson and Josephine counties, and it's even moved into Wairika. So how long will the smoke last? Well, let's take a look at our wildfire smoke forecast. So this is just by 7 a.m. Much of us we're dealing with widespread haze. So we're looking at pretty thin haze across much of our region, but check this out. As the day goes on, we're looking at by 2 p.m. we'll start to see more of that smoke really start to move into our region. But then as the day goes on, you start to see that really continue to push south and really out of our region over in Jackson County and Josephine County. But the smoke actually pushes a little bit more east over into Klamath Falls. So that's when you start to see a lot more of that widespread haze. So do expect the haze to clear up, at least for the west side valleys on Monday, but do expect that haze to continue for our people in the east side valleys, at least going through Tuesday. Now, dropping the kids off for school on your Monday morning, will be cool. Also, still going to be dealing with a little bit of that haze. We're looking at temperatures at 51 degrees as kids head off to school. And also by the time kids head home, we're looking at 82. Nice sunny, but again, still hazy. So by the time kids head to school, a light jacket should do. But the good thing is that you probably won't need that jacket as they head on home around 3 p.m. Tonight for the coast, again, dense fog, our tracking limited visibility. Our overnight lows ranging in the 50s. Our highs expected to warm up into the 60s, 76 the high in Brookings. Do expect fog early, also some haze, so you kind of want to give yourself a little bit of time as you're on your commute to work and school. In our west side valleys, our overnight lows ranging into the 40s and in the 50s. 52 the overnight low in Roseburg, 46 down in Mount Shasta. Haze expected to develop late. Also expecting some fog early to develop in the Cave Junction area. Otherwise, it's just going to be hazy skies throughout much of our Monday. Same situation in our east side valleys, except our overnight lows near below freezing in Christmas Valley and in Chamote. Same situation over in Lakeview. Our overnight low at 39 in Klamath Falls. Again, hazy late, and then same situation tomorrow, except our temperature is expected to warm up into the 70s, 80 over in Klamath Falls. Let's take a look at our 7-day forecast first for the Rogue Valley. Looking at high of 86 on your Monday. Pretty hazy skies, but that should clear up as we go into Tuesday and throughout much of later in this week. But we are still warmer than average. Our overnight lows ranging into the 40s and in the 50s. In the Basin, temperatures high of 80 on Monday, 77 Tuesday. So get a slight break, but we do start to warm back up later on in the week. Our overnight lows also in the upper 30s. In Northern California, same situation, hazy skies, temperatures staying pretty consistent within the 80s. Our overnight lows in the upper 40s and low 50s. And for the coast, hazy skies Monday, temperatures pretty sunny throughout much of this week. Then we start to see mostly sunny conditions on your Friday with temperatures remaining in the 60s and 70s. Our overnight lows in the 50s. We'll be right back.